SWC
All right. Here we go back again on the other side of the coin. Guys, I haven't done the promo on this one, but I will do it, which is a bit strange doing a promo after the segment had started. But nonetheless, we should still do the promo. The new segment, which you guys are seeing here with the boys Jay and Jam, is going to be called The Flip Side. And it's named by my man Jay himself, sort of related to the channel of the other side of the coin. So, yeah, The Flip Side will be a new segment where, we won't always just talk about everything Chelsea. We'll have other topics as well in terms of, like today, we're talking about Arsenal. We'll be talking about Kane and Son as well. And down the track, we're going to be talking about many, many other different topics on a weekly basis. So it's once a week thing. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. So let's get started today straight away. Firstly, of course, Jay, how you doing? You had that incident in midweek with your skateboard. You feeling better?
Yeah, I'm all good, man. I'm feeling back on it. Got a bit of catching up to do, but yeah, I got some. Nice. I'm back on it, man. I'm back on it. How are you?
I'm good, man. I was actually a little bit under the weather throughout the weekend. I still am a little bit, but it's not anything that's going to keep me away from you boys. So don't worry about that. Jam, my man, how are you?
Feeling fresh, mate. Feeling fresh. As always. Energized. Ready to go, man. Life's too short. Got to have some energy in it. Let's go.
That's it. I love it. All right, boys. Let's get started. All right. So first up, we have Ziyech. He got injured, as you guys know, over the weekend against Leeds. Now, I just want to start off by saying I was just reading through some latest news. There's nothing out there at the moment about Ziyech and what how bad the injury is and whatnot. At the end of the day, it's a hamstring injury. He's 100% not going to be playing against Krasnodar. Probably not going to be playing against Everton as well. I'm thinking this could be at least 2 to 3 weeks minimum that he's out for. But what I want to talk to you boys about, probably go to Jay first, is we've seen the impact of Hakim Ziyech. But I just want to talk about the Leeds game because we can sit here and talk about Ziyech all day long and how he impacts. But against Leeds, that equaliser, it started off with Ziyech opening up a bit of space and then laying the ball off to Reece James. And then Reece James puts a brilliant cross in and Giroud scores. Now, for me, Jay, Ziyech is somewhat of a player that even if when he's not having a good game, like we've seen a couple of games here and there where he hasn't had a super impact on it, but he's still so good enough to have those moments in a match where it will come up trumps. How much of a bigger loss this will be for us over the next, let's say, minimum 2 to 3 weeks that he may be away for?
Yeah, it's going to be a big loss. He's a magnet, really, for defenders and for the ball itself. Because the difference with someone like Ziyech compared to someone like Hudson-Odoi or Pulisic or myriad other wingers in the Prem or across Europe is that with Ziyech you have to instantly close him down because his main attribute is his distribution, whereas other people that play on the wing, they're going to dribble and use their pace. You have to instantly close him down, otherwise it's too late. And the ball he puts in 9 times out of 10 is bang on. Yeah. It'll be a big miss. I think Kai needs to step up. I remember voicing some concerns about signing him way back, Miz, on this channel ages ago when we had the debate between Kai or Sancho. But I think Pulisic coming back will be fine. I think Everton are a good side, but we should still win based off current form. I think against Krasnodar, I'm not worried either because it doesn't. That game makes.
It means nothing. That game. Yeah.
He'll be back in time for bigger games. I think we still got Arsenal, City, possibly United to come over this Christmas period. So it'll be a tough one. But I think we're fortunate that Pulisic has sort of come back as soon as Ziyech had to take a bit of time out. Yeah. I think maybe we might see Kai Havertz doing a bit more distributing of the ball.
Let's not forget Callum Hudson-Odoi as well.
Yeah, of course. I think Hudson-Odoi is going to play, but he wants to come off the left. And I think Pulisic is obviously going to play there. I think it will cause a little bit of disruption, but nothing to really derail us because our squad's so good.
No, absolutely. RJ over here, our beloved RJ, one of your team members from SWC, just commented the same thing, that Cho maybe gets more of a look in during Ziyech's absence. Just before we wrap this particular topic up, I'll just quickly go to Jam. Jam, obviously, we didn't see Cho again up against Leeds, not even in the bench. Once again, the whole fan base pandemonium, lots of people saying, oh, it's a bit of a joke. This guy's got to leave now, this and that. And I was sort of saying, come on, he's just got to be patient. His time will come. He's what, 20 now or 19 or something like that?
Yeah, just turned 20.
Just turned 20. So he's got a long way to go. Just keep producing those performances that he put up against Rennes. Now Ziyech is injured. He's definitely going to be at least in the squad, in the bench somewhere, or he'll definitely start against Krasnodar. I mean, do you feel someone like Callum Hudson-Odoi should just stay patient, or should he look at January, window and go, you know what? I mean, I don't know if I have a spot here always once Ziyech is back, and then me being, not even being in the bench anymore. How do you feel about this whole situation?
Well, what concerns me since the summer is that his game time was reducing this season, no matter what, with the players that we brought in. And early season, playing non-wingers in front of him was a bit like, wow, what's his spot in the team then? And I think at his age, he needs to be getting minutes. That's the concern. Now, he didn't really get any minutes until more recently. And I think maybe there's been some things behind the scenes and he's had to work hard, and, these things happen, especially when you're a young player and you might need to prove yourself, not just on the pitch or in training, but, maybe your conduct beyond that. So I think there's probably been a few things, to be honest, but now he's started to play. It seems he's probably put that all behind him. He's starting to, get in Lampard's good books, and naturally at this time of year, he's going to get more game time. So actually, to answer your question, I don't think he should go on loan now. I actually think he's going to have some game time, and he has to remember and be patient. He has to remember that he's part of a good unit. So he's got to look at his career going forward. I can't think of any better teams to be at right now for him, to be honest. And look at all these injuries. Look how packed the December schedule is. He's going to get so much game time. Then he can prove what he can do there. And then maybe he's starting, who knows? Lampard goes off merit. There'll be other injuries. He will get game time this season. So I think the last month has shown that he needs to stay. Before that, I was concerned for him. And I think before that, he had to go on loan. Absolutely
agreed, man. These injuries are going to come and go as well, and packed schedule, as you said. He just needs to stay patient. And the more big performances he puts on, you never know. Before you know, he's starting for us. So, enough about that. Enough about the whole Ziyech. Obviously, as Jay said, that Ziyech is missing him from the squad is going to have a bit of an impact. But hopefully, all the other players like Kai Havertz, as Jay said, that hopefully he steps up, and Pulisic is being back, can take up the mantle as well. Now let's move swiftly on to the next topic, Jay. Zouma's sensational rise. Now, literally the rise, do you know what I mean? And my man Jam, with his Air Zouma. Seriously, this has got a trend. We're going to start talking about Zouma as Air Zouma from now on. Now, Zouma, he not only, defensively, he was pretty all right last season, but this season he's been adding the goals as well, offensively in the set pieces. Now, what seemed to have changed that wasn't there last season in regards to these goals that he's scoring now, Jay? Like, what do you think has kind of changed?
I think Zouma is like possibly the most interesting player in the whole squad because firstly, his sort of trajectory is quite traditional, whereas now we see players, you look at Bayern Munich, right? Musiala, the English guy, 17, come off the bench against Leipzig, scores a goal straight away. He's 17. Look at Hudson-Odoi, signs up hundreds of thousands a week contract at 19. Zouma is now reaching peak level at mid to late mid-20s, let's say. we had a really good piece written go out yesterday. He suffered an ACL injury that looked like a career ender. I mean,
I noticed that post there.
yeah, and what he's done is he's seen the Chelsea team as a place that he wants to be, and he's actually taken the long road, and he's gone out on loan to Stoke and then levelled up and gone to Everton. And then we all know that there was rumours about him leaving in summer, and I think Frank saw that was a strange idea. Now, the reason why I think Zouma has stepped up an extra level is I think he's always been great in the air. He's always been a physical presence. We've known this since he's played at the club. It's not he has won 2 Premier Leagues. It's not like he's there by accident. It's the fact that he's always been, and Rudiger suffers with this, a bit too erratic. And sometimes he looks a bit lost or he gets overexcited. And when you have someone like Thiago Silva who can literally just look at him, just be like, just chill, just relax, like watch, but that makes a massive difference. You can see Giroud doing it with Tammy this season.
Yeah.
And I think that is what's allowed Zouma to have the confidence, plus regular minutes at the top level. Like, I really can't think of many centre-backs I'd take in Europe on current form over him right now. And I think all those things that come together, he's what's happened when you have an injury and then play regularly for a long period of time. And that's why we get stuck on issues like Hudson-Odoi, who did suffer the same injury, give or take, but isn't going to get the regular minutes. And Zouma had to graft to get into the side. And he's got there now, and he's got comfortable, reassuring presence around him. And he's in a system that suits him, and look what happens.
Absolutely, man. And then Tom Cooley is, I just put out a question saying how many is Zouma going to score in the Premier League? He said 10. Imagine if Zouma gets to 10 Premier League goals.
It is possible, though. It's possible.
You wait for my video.
5? He scored 5, right, Jam, at the moment? Or
4. No, he's on 4. Yeah.
4 Premier League goals. Yeah. If we continue with these, really, really good deliveries from Mason Mount and Ziyech from the corners and free kicks, and even Reece James, every now and then he'll take a set piece. And just quickly to Jam, have you noticed how this season with the attacking set pieces, I think Noman had a post ad, but I'm pretty sure everyone's kind of noticed this, that there is a system where they're either making space for Zouma so either Thiago Silva is blocking a few players so Zouma can get a free run, or Zouma blocks a few players so Giroud can get a free run, and they're sort of taking turn. Have you noticed how? Do you think that's probably another thing that's culminated for us to get more goals in set pieces, where the team is working together to make someone free for that header?
Oh yeah, 100%. You said another point as well. The delivery this season, they have been on point. I mean, we've got Ziyech delivering them. We've got Mount that's improved with his deliveries. They're more consistent. Got Reece James putting them into the box as well. These guys are loving it. So I think that's improved over Willian taking the deliveries. There's a massive difference there. And obviously the point you just brought up as well. The NFL blocks are brilliant. They are working on that, and it's just paying off a treat. And it just creates the space to get an unchallenged header. But let me just quickly bring it back to Zouma. I did a WWE style intro for all the players in my preview vid, right? And let me just introduce Zouma. His rise has been like he's on Viagra. Do you know what I mean? It's just boom. This guy, I'm so excited for him.
I love it.
I'm so excited for him right now. I call him the Black Gandalf for a reason, right? You will not pass. You shall not pass. He's fast. He's physical. He's strong. As a striker, you look at him and you just think, Christ, what am I going to do to get by this guy? And now he's got it up here as well. Now he's really, like Jay said, he's calm, he's composed. He's next to Monstro, the boss man, who, like Jay said, will look at him and just be like, yo, he doesn't even need to speak. Just like, yo, do you know what I mean? It's brilliant. He's been unlocked by him. I love it.
Brilliant.
Can I just add something quickly that makes me sound a little less excitable than Jam, but I think it's something that actually will not get spoken about by anyone at all. And I think it's massively underrated with Zouma. If you've seen my tweet, you saw how he landed, right? His knee was essentially flexing inwards.
No, I don't want to talk about that. That's disgusting.
But it would have taken him genuinely, you can see it now, years to have the confidence to land from big jumps, and
Yeah.
that's not going to get spoken about at all. Can you imagine how that feels? As any person, you've done that to yourself, and then you're still relied upon to be the monster in the air. He's had to
Yeah.
build confidence just to land, let alone target the ball in the air, commit to the ball without worrying about where his feet are going. That takes an incredible amount of time to get over. And I think
Great point.
fair play to him for having the mentality to be able to deal with that issue, because those things do actually lead to PTSD amongst athletes, and he's managed to not only get over it but to level up his game consistently from it. I think that is where you see players like Loftus-Cheek and Jack Wilshere, and we can list off players that injuries have ruined it. He's gone the complete other way, and that's a mentality thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I mean, this guy, the leaps that he makes are unbelievable. He literally, forget about the goals that he's scoring, like his defensive headers, the way he leaps above everyone. Oh my days, this guy. And as you said, Jay, that injury that he had, the way his knee sort of collapsed, for him to sort of get back into that confidence to leap like that, wow. But kudos to him. Another fantastic comment from RJ, absolutely, Jay. Mental resilience of Zouma is elite. Now, boys, this next topic, it's doing my head in a little bit, all right? And I love this player. I still do. I'm going to back him. Of course I'm going to back him. We're all going to back him. But Timo Werner's misses are getting very frustrating, and it got to me against Leeds. Not the first one. The first one I was a bit like, whoa, how can you miss that? Like, that was 2 attempts to score in an open goal, and you missed that. And I was like, okay, all right, you know what? No problems. That Mason Mount Messi-esque kind of pass that destroyed Leeds' defense completely and put it on the platter for Werner. I was up jumping as soon as that pass happened, because I thought, this is goal. Like, Werner's just going to smash it either side of the keeper or dummy the keeper, and it's going to be in. And he missed that as well. And I lost it, because not only that would have been a fantastic assist for Mason Mount, and that would have shut so many people off in the sense that, he can't produce assist of an open play, because that would have gone down as one of the best assists of the season. I know the season hasn't ended. It's only been like 10, 11 games, but that would have gone down as a really good assist. But Jay, what is going on with Timo Werner? We've now seen some amazing misses, and what is it? Because this player, he's got the technique. He's got all the technique. What is it that's making him miss?
I literally, and I don't say this to be rude, I literally don't care that he misses. I think it's much more of an issue if he wasn't getting chances.
Yeah,
like he's still got 13 goal contributions in 18 games in a new league, in a different team, in a place where he doesn't speak the language. What more do you want? The thing is, do you know what? Finish the chances. But I thought the Leeds keeper, he's outstanding, by the way. He's 21, Meslier, he's a great keeper. You know, Werner, he ran so hot at Leipzig. He scored all the time. But we know in the Premier League, you do not get the time. You just don't get the time that you do in other leagues. Even if it's just marginal, it makes a massive difference. This is an adjustment period for him. I mean, you saw when his goal was disallowed. I can't remember who it was against, but it was a beautiful finish. I think it might have been. I was against Spurs.
Yeah,
you know, the one where against Leeds, right? That it was literally on the line and he missed it.
Yeah,
that to me is just that's somewhat of a blank. It can, every striker misses sitters. It does happen. He's still contributing regularly enough. He's a massive threat, and I think the fact that I've heard Gary Lineker say it multiple times. If you listen to Wrighty's House, which is Ian Wright's podcast, he speaks about it. No issue with missing chances. The issue is not getting chances.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you think, Jay? Sorry to cut you off, man. Do you think there could be a point where, because I've started to see that the frustration in him, especially in that Leeds. I didn't see those frustration in the previous misses. Do you think our fan base being much bigger than Leipzig's one, and no disrespect to Leipzig, and the social media effect that, football has now, do you think he sees that and that frustration's creeping in, or?
No, I think you saw he was frustrated, and what did he do? He sprinted forward and got an assist.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that's his mentality. I really think it's like it's the same as Haaland. They're just black or white players. Like it doesn't matter. I'm just going to get the ball and do something with it this time. I've missed that chance. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, you see what happened with Morata and Torres when they miss chances, they crumble.
Yeah.
Every game, Werner is doing something, even if he's missing chances. That
True.
he missed. How many chances did he miss at Leeds? 3 or 4. But
at least three. Yeah.
After 90 minutes, he's still sprinting down the line to play the ball in to get the assist. I just don't think it's worth talking about or people worrying, because it's going to create a sort of narrative that just doesn't need to happen. I think there are other issues in the squad that are bigger than Werner missing a few chances in the last few weeks. Genuinely.
No, absolutely, man. And Frank said the same thing as well, Jam. Post-match, they asked the same question to Frank, and he pretty much had the similar sort of answer to Jay as well, that we're creating chances and he's going to put them away sooner or later. The worst part would have been that we're not creating chances and we get that one-off chance and then he's missing. We're creating plenty of chances, and his attitude, that the way he comes back, he never seems to seem down about it for too long. He just gets back out there and gets that assist. Brilliant assist as well. Do you think, Jam, we are going to soon see him just pile on the goals? Like, he cannot be missing these for too often. Like, these goals will be converted very soon.
Yeah, they will. There's no drama long term. I think, just going back to your point, I think the transition from Leipzig to Chelsea is a step. So he's still adjusting to that. And I think sometimes, like Jay said, you don't want it to become a narrative where it now does become a problem for him. He will still get these chances. He will get goals. They will come. Playing up front, playing as a striker is the most streaky position you can find on the pitch, I think. And actually, in fact, to correct that, he's not playing up front. He's playing left wing. Myself, even though I'm not a professional footballer, I play up front and I get shifted out to the wing because I've got pace. If anything, I play kind of similar to Timo. And the mental effect that it has, straight away you're almost thinking, I wanted to score a goal today. And I know it doesn't mean that you're not going to score because you're left wing, but you're not going to get the same chances as you would up front. There's all of this. He's still getting these chances at left wing. He doesn't necessarily want to play there. And he's still got 4 goals in the league. He's got more goals than Aubameyang. He's got the same goals, the same amount as Mane. He's got more than Firmino. It's okay. It's okay. And hopefully in the future, I don't think it will be this month with the injuries we've had, but hopefully in the future, you will get more of a time playing up front, and we'll see him getting different types of chances as well, and getting more chances maybe, and he will convert them. Sometimes it's just a little block of playing out of position as a striker, if you like.
Nah,
I really
absolutely.
believe that. So
absolutely, man. I just can't wait where that assist that he produced for Pulisic, the way Kovacic puts that ball through, and both the players with the afterburners on. I just hope that soon someone does that for Werner. Like, Pulisic runs through and squares the ball and Werner gets a tap in. It'd be good to get him like that.
But the thing is, can I just jump in just for a second? I think an assist and a goal is the same.
Yeah.
It's
True.
the same thing. And if we're all honest, like, Timo came off an amazing season at Leipzig, but if he plays 50 games this season, let's say, for example, and he gets 35 goals and assists, that would be an absolute joke. And he's on 13, 18 games already.
Yeah.
Let's not forget he's scoring for his national team as well.
Yeah.
We have to play differently. And also, against Leeds, no one could score, and we still scored 3.
Yeah.
It's actually bonkers what's going on. So I just feel like I wish everyone would they're not going to, because everyone rates him, but I wish everyone would just leave him alone and just focus on other things like laughing at Arsenal or stuff like that, because he's doing great and he's fine. He's fine.
Nah, I think you're right, Jay, man. I think it just becomes like a natural reaction for fans to see someone like Timo Werner, who's a striker, to score goals. But you're absolutely right, Jay, that producing assists is just as good as scoring a goal as well. And then as a fan base, we probably just need to, and this is why we have these discussions, right? So that if one of us sort of gets carried away, the other one can just say, hey, look, they are doing many other things. And this is why this forum is great. Do you know what I mean?
And it's worth just mentioning, like, I know he's a controversial player, but someone like Luis Suarez, right? He's as a bloke, no one rates him. But as a football player, he's outstanding. And he's got the most assists of any player in like, as a striker. He's got over 250 assists.
Wow.
Like, that adds to being a well-rounded player. And Werner's only 24. Give him time and let him learn the league, and he'll have it on ropes for ages, I think.
Absolutely. Dami here has just put a comment out saying Timo Werner to score and assist 30+ goals this season. Mark my words. I'll take that, man. If that means he misses 20 to get to that 30, I'll take that any day of the week. Now, guys, that's enough about Chelsea football. Let's get on to some other teams, other clubs. Let's have some fun, right? So first of all, guys, I didn't get to watch this match, but I did see a lot of, crazy hoo-ha in social media, especially from AFTV. Arsenal Football Club. I'll go to Jam on this one first. Man, what is going on with Arsenal? I had a look at the table this morning. They're, I think 15th, and I mean, the three at the bottom are really, really rubbish clubs. Once again, no disrespect to who is it? Sheffield United, a few of the other two, West Brom, and someone else, Fulham, I think. They're probably not going to be able to catch up to Arsenal, who's on 13 points, but they're playing some rubbish football at the moment, like totally rubbish football. And I feel sorry. Like this morning, I just wanted to go on AFTV and just have a laugh. And these guys are crying, Jam. They are literally crying. Troops is now apparently Arteta out. Like,
yeah, I saw that.
Not that long ago, they just beat us in FA Cup. And they thought this was the new beginning, and Pep Guardiola 2.0. How are you taking in? You I guess you guys have been in London. What's the mood over there?
I'm drinking their tears, mate. Do you remember after that FA Cup final, they were Lampard's a fraud and all this? Yeah, remember that? Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
They got Thomas Partey and they released a song, "Party Hard." Yeah, I tweeted that today, and I was reminding them. Remember that? What happened to the party? Expressions, even the Spurs fan, he said Boris must have called another lockdown because the party's been cancelled. It's peak, right? It is.
I love
peak.
Expressions, man. Expressions funny, dude.
He's brilliant, but it is really peak. Okay, so Arsenal have just lost the quality. Now, what happens is, again, football's quite a streaky game, and it's all about momentum. When you start going on these runs, there could be positive runs, there could be negative runs. It can be very difficult to get out of them. They've gotten into a habit of not scoring goals and sitting back and relying on trying to defend with defenders that can't defend. Bellerina, mate. This guy's terrible. Xhaka is slower than... do you know what? I can't even think.
Bellerina can't take a throw-in.
He can't even take a throw-in. They're finished. Aubameyang, the guy that was, he was keeping their heads above water on his own. I
don't think he's interested, man. He's not interested.
He's lost interest, and I can't blame him. Lacazette's finished. They've exiled their best number 10, only number 10. Well, they're in so much trouble. I can't even put it into words. Don't literally give it 2-3 months before Partey falls into the same bracket as those players. It's just a joke.
How do you reckon Mesut Ozil's feeling, sitting back?
He's calm. He's on £350 a week.
He doesn't care. He's laughing. He
doesn't care.
Playing Fortnite, isn't he?
Man. Jay, just on the point what Jam was saying, they're not scoring goals. I saw a very interesting tweet from Elizabeth, another one of our superstars in the platform. Son, 10 goals, Arsenal, 10 goals.
Do you know what? Like, I'm going to kind of change it just to, it's like, boxing, right? Or any other sport. At the end of the day, great rivals respect each other. And a part of me, I'm kind of gutted for Arsenal because they've been a rival for so long, and you'd rather have a real battle with them and win than just walk over them. I think like sometimes it's because of what they're like on Twitter, it's jokes. But if we think about it, like their club's being run into the ground by people that don't care, and that is actually sad because Arsenal have the most fans out of any London club. And they've been so close to like real greatness, and obviously only Chelsea's the one that's gone that distance, But they're being run shambolically, and I feel for Arsenal fans to some extent. It is funny that the results are bad on the pitch as a Chelsea fan, but can you imagine what this would be like for us? Like imagine what this would be like.
And honestly, I'd cry.
This is what I'm saying. Like there are people that aren't on Twitter, that aren't bantering accounts with Arsenal pictures as Avi's. Like that's just embarrassing. Like there are actual people whose club that really matters to them and their community, and it's being sort of taken from them, and poor investment in the wrong areas, and they're doing the wrong things, and it's kind of rubbish because you want Arsenal to be a good team just so you can beat them properly. Do you know what I mean? I expect us to beat them when we next play.
At least be proper so we can just smash you.
Come on,
not when you're broken.
Yeah. Come on, like you want the proper, you want the thing, don't you? You want Arsenal to be there, giving it all, and then you beat them. You don't want Arsenal there to be like, oh, we're going to lose. Oh, don't play then. Just shut up. Like,
just sit down.
But on the flip side, it is quite funny. I mean, this is what you do when you give Willian 200k a week, Ozil 350, Aubameyang. They're all over 30.
Can I share something with you, boys? I told you this. My younger brother, he's an Arsenal fan, right?
Yeah. Same here, by the way.
Your younger brother as well. Okay. Well,
literally, yeah.
Kudos to both of them. I go to gym with my younger brother on a regular basis, and we talk about football, right? And today, I just asked him frankly, and I said, "What's going on, man? Like, how you feeling? You doing all right, young fella?" And he goes, and he said exactly what you just said, Jay. That this is what happens when your transfers make no sense. There's no sense to any of the transfer dealings. Like, you look at, he literally said to me, he goes, you look at Chelsea. They sat down and they looked at their weaknesses, and they addressed it properly to fix it, and they fixed it. Arsenal saw all their weaknesses, and then they got Willian. So he was saying to me, why Willian at the age of 34? Why? Why not spend the money somewhere else? Get someone younger like that you can sort of, look towards building the club. And then he was also against Aubameyang getting an extension. He was saying Aubameyang at that time was 33. Why are we giving this guy another 2 more years? Or whatever the contract extension. He was saying, use that money and get it. Like he was saying that they've got enough out of Aubameyang, and it was time to put that money somewhere else. So, he was talking about Hossam Aouar. He goes, why didn't they go after someone like Hossam Aouar? Because they need creativity in midfield because there's nothing in midfield. So you're right, Jay, man. I mean, that club is just being run down like massively. Just to touch on Arteta now, and I'll ask this to Jam. Jam, Arteta, are you somewhat surprised by how awful he's been? Like, I kind of rated him thinking, coming off from Pep, learning all his skill set and whatnot, that he was going to play the beautiful football with Arsenal. But Jam, what's going on with Arteta?
I've heard some Arsenal fans say that now you're looking at somebody that's not a manager but more of a coach. There's a difference. He might know exactly what he wants to do tactically, but now he needs to manage a football club. Now, what that means is managing them in the through the good times and through the bad times. So there will inevitably be games where people, you lose a match, but it's how you pick them up, and it's how you pick them up and take them back to winning ways. And I love that comment, by the way. Shout out.
Good there. That's perfect, Alonso. If you're watching,
he probably will. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, would you guys be surprised if he went there?
I would not be surprised. He would go. And look, they play 3-4-3. So
this is it. This is it. Remontada. But no, seriously, he's inexperienced, and this job is too big for him.
Too much.
It's in way above his head. I mean, they need somebody that can manage them through games. Jose would have been probably a better fit for them. I just don't think it's in his DNA to get him out of this. And he just doesn't look like he's got the character. He looks too passive to me. He's picking fights and throwing players under the bus all the time. I just don't really understand where he's trying to go. Because if you heard what he did to Partey yesterday, I probably wouldn't approach it like that. And that's where you can see maybe he's not a manager. He's not the guy to get him out of this.
Can I also like, you remember, obviously I'm the youngest out of the three of us, but I remember, so I know you will all remember how lambasted Chelsea as a club got from 2003 until Lampard joined, of recycling managers after 3 seasons. Yeah, remember it. We all got stick. The club got stick. Yeah. You look at what happens when managers become part of the fabric at a club and you fail to replace them. You look at United; they have not got over Ferguson leaving, and that was 10 years ago, give or take. Yeah, because they controlled everything. You look at Wenger at Arsenal. Wenger controlled everything, and you have the benefits of that success. But if you're not going to plan post that and get their input and their help, I fail to see it. United have a much better squad than Arsenal. The thing is, I think Arteta's actually a decent manager. I think he's just very principled. It's the same as Sarri. Very principled the way they want to play. Just when you don't have the tools, it's very hard. Yeah. And Arsenal's squad is rubbish. It's the worst Arsenal squad, and it's really bad. Genuinely. Yeah. I'm not even saying that to as banter. It's really poor. It's poor for Arsenal's stature. It's crazy. And this is what happens. Like we had Mourinho 3 years, 4 years success. Okay, right, you're gone now because what's going on is this is becoming a bit too much. We've got our department here, and look what Marina's doing now. Big up Marina, number one, because being a woman in football is hard enough, let alone at the top level making the best decisions. And you look at how we've done things, it's beginning to improve. City have had Pep for a while, but what they've done is they've given him £1 billion. Fairs. That is one way of doing it. Arteta's not going to get that because the Kroenkes own the Rams or something like that in America. And why would they put money into Arsenal when the Rams getting them more money?
They wouldn't. They could care less.
So it shows that maybe the future of management, possibly, I'm not saying it's always true, but it could be more short-termisms than real long-term projects. Yeah. In the sense of like 15 years plus. That is a bit insane because then you look at how Real Madrid struggled after Ronaldo left. They won the domestic league, but I mean they should. And you wait till Messi leaves Barcelona.
Oh, mate.
Oh, they're gone. They're finished. They're already finished with Messi.
Those who leaving the club is exactly the same as Ferguson and Wenger leaving Arsenal and United. Ferguson is the greatest manager that's ever managed. That's just a fact. And Wenger's not far off. That is Messi and Ronaldo leaving their clubs. And when you fail to plan for the future, Arsenal's academy is massively overrated in terms of talent. And they haven't backed it properly, which makes it even worse because they haven't got regular minutes as adults in men's football. And then instead of, don't spend 50 million on Thomas Partey, spend 15 to 20 million on 2 or 3 gambles of players that are between 21 and 24 and give them a season or two to develop. Don't send Lucas Torreira out on loan. That's stupid. Yeah. If you're gonna it's so obvious, but if you're gonna pay Ozil this, just play him because he's actually really good, and Ozil's got the ability to stand still and dictate play, and we all know this. And it just seems that every decision at Arsenal's not going right, and they need someone bigger than a manager. Like Jam said, like you look at Ralph Rangnick, who was meant to go to AC Milan. He was a former sporting director of the Red Bull Group. So he oversaw not just Leipzig, but Salzburg and what was going on in America and their academies in Africa. And you look at how well they've grown from a 5th division team in 7 years because they had someone that has the ability to do all of this. If Arsenal had Rangnick, in 3 years' time, Arsenal would be serious. But they don't, and they won't do that because, like Kroenkes and Glazers, they have a difficulty in, freeing up their power. Whereas Roman, I refuse to say many nice things about him because I don't actually rate him as a bloke. But as an owner of a football club, he's willing to let people who are good at their job do their job, and that's how you see the benefit of those clubs over the years and why you've seen the decline of Arsenal United.
Oh man, absolutely bang on everything that both you boys have said about Arsenal. But all I want to say is that I hope this continues on for them and hope they get relegated. That's pretty much what I want to say. Let's move on to the next topic. Now, boys, this one is this one's serious. All right, like I'm actually a little bit scared about this. I know we've always laughed about Spurs and how they bottle it and whatnot. I think for the first time in my life, I'm looking at the Spurs team and I'm looking at Jose Mourinho behind it, and I'm thinking these guys, they mean business. Like they're not messing about. Especially the combination of Son and Kane once again damaging Arsenal. 2 chances, 2 goals, both of them sort of linking up together. Very simple strategy. Kane drops deep, finds a long ball for Son. Son just goes and runs, and and they tend to do that. I'll go to Jam here. Obviously, we've nullified them against when we played them, but if they continue the way they're continuing, and seems I don't know. Besides us and Liverpool, they've even taken Man City, out, and they've beat them. I can't see how they're going to. The only way I can see them dropping points, Jam, is with the massive fixtures because they're in the Europa League, they're even in the EFL Cup that we got knocked out, so they're in that as well. FA Cup's just around the corner. Do you see them? Where do you see them faltering, basically?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I did say earlier on that football's a momentum game. You get, you start building up momentum, and they're obviously bang on it right now, and it's worrying. I don't like Spurs, but you have to appreciate what they're doing and appreciate Uncle Jose over there. I really can't wait for the wheels to come off the bus. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I feel like it will, because when you look at XG as a stat, over the course of a season, you don't really finish that far off it. And right now they're winning games with a very low XG, which means that they are taking unbelievable chances and scoring them. Yesterday, their XG, after they scored 2 goals, and I think their XG was 0.27. Yeah. I mean, what? Yeah. That's unsustainable. Kane's not going to bang one in on it. Okay, he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. Best striker in the league. But he's not going to constantly finish those chances like he did yesterday. Left foot from the angle, in off the crossbar. Son's not always going to score his shots from 30 yards. What they need is a team to almost do it to them. Take whatever chance they get, just bang it in, and then have a rock-solid defence. And I think it will happen. It will happen when they get injuries naturally through the season, when Kane rolls his ankle, or when Son gets suspended, or, these things that usually happen in seasons. I think it will happen. So if they were to lose one of their key players, I think they'll be in trouble. I don't see a replacement for Kane. I don't see a replacement for Son. But we have to respect what they're doing. And, let's see how they get on this month with a congested schedule. I'll be amazed if they don't lose this month. And that's a big call. But I think they do play Liverpool. And Liverpool is the perfect team to do it to them. Take one chance they get, Salah just bangs it in for 30 yards, and then they've got a problem. Tottenham have to come out and Liverpool counter-attack them. I would hope, well, not hope, but I think Liverpool would beat them. It would be those kind of teams.
Absolutely, man. Jay, are you genuinely worried about this combination of Son, Kane, Jose Mourinho?
Not worried about it. I mean, they're world-class players with a world-class manager. It is what happens. it is what it is. I mean, the only issue, I think there's two issues with Spurs. If I was a Spurs fan, that would concern me. As a Chelsea fan, it kind of sucks that they're doing well, but even if they win a Premier League, we've got 5. They're not going to win a Champions League. Do you know what I mean? How many FA Cups have we got? I mean, we can play that game if we want. I personally find that quite boring as well, but it can be played. It will be played at some point. I think that there are two issues. Firstly, like we spoke about, Werner 4 goals, Zouma 4 goals, Jorginho 3 goals. It means that our squad on the whole is contributing to goals. Now Spurs, it's just Kane and Son.
Yeah, assists and goals, both of them. It's literally just those two.
But if Kane gets injured, which he typically does, Vinicius is not going to do what Kane does. And that's no insult to Vinicius, the backup striker. It's literally because Kane is, in my opinion, the second best striker in the world. And what happens? Same with Son. Son has a red card in him. I haven't really seen Son get injured, but it's possible. And so those two things, at one point, would worry me, that they're over-reliant on 2 players. Secondly, is that the whole narrative around Mourinho joining has been, you're a winner, you're a winner, you're a winner. And his ego did not need massaging at all. And I love Mourinho, and I think he is one of the best managers that's ever managed. But I know full well, as you do, Jam, as well, like, Mourinho's going to look at every trophy and be like, I'm going to win that. And the problem is I think down the stretch, that's not really feasible, because you don't have the depth and quality of a team like Bayern Munich to win the treble. So they're going to have to focus on one thing, which will mean they'll have to go out of other things. Or I think Mourinho is going to actually believe he can win everything, because that's his mentality. And then they'll fall short because they've not rested players appropriately, or given too much in one game when actually maybe focus on the league. Because it's still going to be top 6 competing for 4 places. Let's not forget, Man City and United are still good, and they'll be there. But Tottenham, it's just whether they're going to focus on 1 or 2 things, or whether they're going to go for everything and fall short.
No, absolutely, man. I think this is where, you're right, man. Like, I feel like Jose Mourinho, he's got this mentality where he wants to win everything, just like you said. And that might be the downfall of maybe not winning anything. Unless they've got the trump card of Gareth Bale. If he can come up trumps and start sort of putting in some goals, maybe they can, go and win something. But I don't know, man. I hate seeing them on top of the table. It just annoys me. I mean, is it somewhat bothersome for both of you boys as well to see them up there? Like, I just get annoyed seeing them up in the table like that. I just want them below us. And I don't know. How's the feeling for you guys just seeing them on top?
I don't care.
You, Jay?
Well, like Jay said, I don't really care ultimately. All of these memes about Spurs being Spursy, bottle jobs, there's a reason for that, we're going to be all right. It's a long ass season. We're not even halfway through yet. Their fans can get gassed. They get nosebleeds
as much as they want. Yeah.
So it's cool, man. It'll be all right in the end. We've got a better squad than them. I think we'll finish above them. I'm not saying we'll win the league, but I think we'll finish above them.
Yeah, no. I think similarly as well, Jay.
It doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me one bit. I would run out of fingers on my hands to count the players that play for Chelsea that are under 25. I could not do the same for Spurs.
True.
So fine. You know what? If you win the league now, great. But them winning the league doesn't make them more of an attractive club to play for than Chelsea or City or Liverpool or United. It actually doesn't, because those things take ages to do.
Yeah,
so
you know what? That's a very good point, Jay. Because
their
team, go on. Yeah.
But like I said with the Ferguson and Wenger, like, what are you gonna do when Kane goes?
Yeah,
like Son is at peak, but he's 28, 29. Like, okay, fine, you get 2 or 3 years out of him, amazing. But I wouldn't be surprised if a top team comes in for Son. And that's no disrespect to Spurs, because they are a top team, but you know what I mean, like a Bayern Munich level side.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I literally cannot believe no one's gone in for Son, because I think he's just amazing.
For me, he's so underrated, man. Like, not many people rate him as a top.
He's never
class
spoken
Premier
about
League.
as one of like the world elite players, but he very much is one.
He very much is.
Yeah.
Honestly, he really is.
So if you have that
yeah.
issue in the squad of, okay, and Ndombele's young, fine, but he'll probably leave at some point, I think, because I don't think young players at Spurs see Spurs as a final destination.
Yeah.
And I genuinely, I think, whereas now at Chelsea that is happening.
Yeah.
And that's because over the last 20 years we've built up enough, clout essentially to have that title, whereas Spurs, in the nicest possible way, don't have it.
Yeah.
So you got Bergwijn and Ndombele under 25. Joe Rodon fares, but we don't know what he's going to be like. Who else?
Harry
Winks.
Harry Winks, maybe. I don't even know. Reguilon's got a buyback clause at Real Madrid, and they're rubbish at the moment. So I mean,
Dele Alli is probably leaving his end.
Dele Alli's definitely going to leave. So I mean, it looks great, but if you scratch below the surface, there are issues that it's unsustainable long term. And so, fine, if they win an FA Cup, great. I mean, weird. So what? Like, you're a good team that's paying the most for any manager in the world, and you've got the best strike. It's not really surprising. It's just whether can you sustain it for 20 years like we've done, or like United did, or like Arsenal did. I don't see it.
No, you know what? That's such an important point that you said, that it's not about just winning the FA Cup this season or winning the Premier League. It's about how do you win it for the next 10, 15, 20 years on a regular basis, just the way we did in the early 2000, in the 2000 to 2010 and the early parts of the 2020 decade, and also the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona in their leagues, how they regularly win it. And you're right, Spurs is not a team where an up and coming youngster would be, looking at them and going, yeah, that's a club that I want to be at, because they're essentially putting all their eggs on this season for something to happen. And then I'm pretty sure after that, nothing will happen. Like, do you know what I mean? They may get something this season, but then that's it. Jose will move on. Kane might move on. And as you said, Son might move on, and so on and so forth. And they'll be back to square one. Whereas Chelsea, our team, you can clearly see that not only we're in a very good position to do something this season, but this squad is now setting itself up for the long haul as well. So it's a very good place to come as a youngster.
Mourinho doesn't play kids. That's literally very well known. So why, as a young player, would you go there?
You wouldn't go there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool, boys. Well, that kind of wraps it up for our segment of the 5 talking points in this. The flip side. Hope everyone enjoyed. Thank you so much for every single one of you guys that have tuned in and out throughout this session. And thank you for all the comments. Strip Bear, you've got to chill out with the comments. You're going a bit crazy. But I do appreciate you coming on, and everyone that has commented. Jam, Jay, thank you heaps for coming on for this week. Hopefully next week we'll have more topics to talk about as the season sort of gets into the crunchier part. This whole December month is going to be very, very crazy. Jay, what are you up to over the next couple of days?
I mean, at SW6 we just have loads of stuff coming out. We're doing advent calendar stuff, both pages, for the women's football content and for the men's football content as well. I am going to be getting back into the swing of things following a week out. But yeah, man, just stay focused on what we're doing. Obviously, to everyone that's watching, subscribe to this channel because it's really good, and I love being on it.
Thank you, man. And I've got all the description of SW6 and everything in here. Jam, what are you going to be up to, my man?
Yeah, much the same as Jay in a sense. And yeah, I've got a preview vid to do today for Krasnodar. Sorry. A lot of page stuff to go out, and December's a really busy month, so a lot of focus on SW6 really. But yeah, further to what Jay said, make sure you like the vid.
Brilliant. All right, boys. Until next time, see ya.